The Clemson defense headed back out on the field. Dexter Lawrence will be out there shortly, not out there at the moment, as we take a look at tonight's PlayStation Player Index.
Big Dexter Lawrence, 6'4", 350 pounds. Mentioned earlier that he is now healthy. Last year was dealing with some injuries and gutted through it, but probably was at about 85% most of the year. And he's healthy now. And by the way, they're rotating a lot of guys in and out and trying to stay fresh in this heat.
We haven't even seen two of the star freshman defensive ends that they've recruited, and we'll see at some point K.J. Henry and Xavier Thomas, if not tonight, in the not too distant future, as Texas A&M really in need of a drive here.
Yeah, that was a nice job of getting to the edge. They've been trying those counter plays and letting the defensive speed get into the backfield. That time just kind of set the edge on the outside with the right tackle, Carson Green, and get your back to that corner and try to pick up some positive yards.
Kwame Edwee in the backfield. Travion Williams has largely been bottled up. Starting running back for Texas A&M. Keeping on the ground with Edwee. And Edwee powering ahead and keeping those feet churning and getting up close to the nice little yellow line they draw on the field for us to let us know if he gets the first down.
Gillespie leading the way there, the fullback. You know, this is an offensive line that prides itself. They've been challenged by Jimbo Fisher this week to win the line of scrimmage, which is a very tough thing to do, but they've got some size up there.
They needed to win it there to get the first down. Edwee broke one tackle, but he will not break the second, third, fourth. Justin Foster hit him. Trey Lamar hit him. Wilkins was the first one that got back there to get him. And Venables' defense forces a 3 and out.
On 3rd and short, I've seen Christian Wilkins do this so many times. He understands he's got to be able to shoot a gap, to be able to get into that backfield. See how quick he is? Off the line of scrimmage, that ball is snapped. He's immediately shooting between the right guard and the center, and he blew the play up and allowed the rest of the defense there to rally to the ball. Those are the things that make him so dangerous in the middle. He played outside last year, back to the middle this year, and so disruptive.
Braden Mann hoping to flip the field, and boy, did he ever. He just airmails Amari Rogers. The ball back down inside the 15, and Rogers is knocked down. A tremendous special teams play and a booming punt of 69 yards off the foot of Braden Mann.
That was exactly what they needed. You know, this field was the field position starting to favor Clemson, and he comes through in a big way. We'll see who ends up coming back out at quarterback. Looks like Trevor Lawrence will come back out.
Here is the quarterback comparison so far. Kelly Bryant, 5 of 6. Trevor Lawrence 2 for 4 with a touchdown, maybe because one of Lawrence's drives lasted one play when he threw a touchdown pass. They're sending him back out there with some adversity now deep in his own end, inside his own 20. Lawrence. Boy, that was just a laser as he finds T. Higgins. Man, he threw the touchdown pass, too.
Yeah, we've already talked a lot about T. Higgins, but last year, Deon Cain, who's a very effective receiver, played that boundary wide receiver, but he was only 6'1", about 190 pounds. All 3 of those ex-receivers this year, the receiver into that short part of the field, are all 6'4". And that, when Clemson has a big target at that spot, to me, that's a real key to their offense.
Lawrence that time didn't get the feet set. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
And the reason that's so important is you just saw back-to-back plays. They feel that they have to have a guy that can win one-on-one matchups with their size and speed, because if they win there consistently, it makes the defense have to go into the boundary with a safety and a corner, and then it opens up the field where those other 3 wide receivers are, including Hunter Renfrow, Amari Rogers, and then you can do damage to the field. So a little bit of pick your poison when you have that ex-receiver as good as a guy like T. Higgins.
Play clock winding down toward 5 seconds. Clemson needs 1. Would appear likely they're going to use the timeout, and they do. So a 3rd down and 1 for the freshman quarterback and the Tigers, with Clemson on top of the Aggies 14-3. then I believe the last time Kentucky won in Gainesville was 1979. And Sugar Hill Gang had just released Rappers Delight. So. Got a little something for Adnan there. 3rd and 1. See what Trevor Lawrence has for Texas A&M. And he's got nothing. He'll get nothing and like it. The play made by Otaro Alaka from his linebacker spot. And Clemson will have to punt it away.
This is a good job. We're bragging on Clemson shooting gaps. This is called shooting a gap as well by Alaka. Times it up perfectly. Center pulls out Fasanelli, and when he pulls out, there's nobody there to be able to deal with that speed. That's just well timed out. He's at the right place at the right time to keep Lawrence short of the first down. After the big punt by A&M, they get a 3-and-out. Now you're talking about maybe getting decent field position. We'll see what happens.
It's a great point, Kirk. The last couple of times the Aggies have had the ball, they've been backed up in their own end. Let's see if Will Spires can return the favor. Rashad Paul makes a fair catch right at his 37-yard line, and that's where the Aggies will put it into play. Our annual Week 1 ESPN Monday Night Football doubleheader is this Monday. Sam Darnold and the Jets taking on the Lions, 7:10 Eastern Time. Then at 10:15, it'll be the Rams and Gruden's Grinders. John Gruden returning. Both games will be simulcast on ESPN2 in Spanish and streaming live on the ESPN app. See Alaka, who made the play on Trevor Lawrence to give the Aggies the ball back.
We've not seen. We saw early in the game them try to get the ball thrown to the outside. Jamon Osborne has not had a chance. Number 2, he's their best receiver off to the left to see if he gets a chance to try to make a play one-on-one.
Bond firing it to the outside, and it was knocked away from Buckley. A tremendous recovery from the athletic Isaiah Simmons.
Isaiah Simmons has moved to that kind of outside linebacker / nickel spot this year. He used to play back at safety. They just feel that he is so versatile. He can do so many things for them with his size at 6'2", 230 pounds, yet he can cover like a corner. And there he's all by himself with a fleet-footed wide receiver, and he timed it up perfectly to knock that ball away. I love the look of 11.
He is a redshirt sophomore from the life of Kansas. He was a long jumper during his redshirt year for Clemson, a terrific long jumper in high school, and spent a little time with the track team there. Travion Williams picks up about 5, maybe 6. It'll bring up 3rd down.
The last thing on Simmons is you just don't see safeties built like that covering downfield anymore. The trend in college football, the safeties and the corners are built pretty similarly. 5'11", 180, 190 pounds. It's rare to see 6'3", 225, 230 out there covering in space.
Gabe Williams 7, so they need 3 more Aggies, just 2 of 7 on 3rd down.
Left tackle moved, Dan Moore.
Moore saw that pressure coming to his outside. And
I don't blame him.
Full start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So now instead of 3rd and 3, you back it up and you get 3rd and 8. A&M has missed their last 5 3rd down opportunities.
That'll drive you crazy as a coach. I mean, 3rd and 3, the whole playbook opens up. 3rd and 8 against this defensive front and Brent Venables and the way he can blitz. Jimbo Fisher's scratching his head on that.
Mines had an over, missed his last 5. Now he's getting pressure. Bought a little time in the pocket and did the catch. Made it was deflected, and Trevor Wood came up with it. They'll give him the catch.
Yeah, caught a break there. Throws back against his body. Watch 90 in the background get up and knock that ball down, but he didn't get enough of it. And a big 6'6" tight end focuses in, gets away from J.D. Davis, and makes the catch right at the 1st down marker, and just enough for a 1st down.
He was trying to get it to Sternberger, one tight end, and Trevor Wood, the graduate transfer from Arizona, was there to get it on the rebound. So much needed 1st down for the Aggies. Mine, and now he's found his favorite target, Jamon Osborne, a 4-star recruit, high school teammate of mine at IMG Academy.
Watch Denzel Johnson right here start to cheat and come down. that's where Kellen Mond is looking. See him come up to Travion Williams. He comes up. He says, if you're going to come up, give that up. We'll take that passing lane. He pulls it out of Travion Williams, makes a great throw on time. And Osborne, we've been waiting for him. He finally comes up with a catch.
Pick up 20. Back to the ground with Williams, and nothing doing. He's swallowed up by the Clemson defensive front. Austin Bryant was in there, so too was J.D. Davis.
You got to tip your cap to Jimbo Fisher. You understand when you're facing Brent Venables in this defense, you got to be balanced. You got to let him know you're going to keep reminding him that you're going to run the football just to let him know that it's there. And he's better as a play caller like anybody when you can run and throw. But truth be told, with the way that defense is playing up front, he's got to try to make plays out in space. And getting his tailback, Travion Williams, if he can't run, get him out in the passing game.
Mond steps up, got Sternberger. And making a fine defensive play was Denzel Johnson. I thought he had Sternberger for a second. Johnson closed quickly.
Boy, he responded so quickly to this. Usually you're concerned about number 8, trying to throw the ball over top of him. Not the safety breaking on this ball. Ball kind of hung up in the air, which gave Johnson a chance to break. But he immediately recognized the route, put his foot in the ground, and changed directions to be able to get to that ball.
Now 3rd down and 10. Aggies caught a break on a 3rd down on a deflected ball. Can they make a play here? Good protection for Mond. Throwing in the middle. He was looking for Wood. There are a lot of Tigers around, including Kayvon Wallace and Denzel Johnson again, and it'll be 4th down.
There are a lot of Tigers, and there are 2 A&M wide receivers, a tight end and a wide receiver. You see the big tight end, Wood, but you're also going to see Buckley. And you got to be really careful against an athletic defense. It's reading the quarterback's eyes and throwing late over the middle. A&M fortunate that ball was not intercepted.
So Daniel LaCamera will try to get a field goal out of it. This will be from 50 yards. His career long is 52. LaCamera's blocked. And Clemson scoops it up, and he was knocked out of bounds in Dabo Swinney's special teams. Coming up with the play might have been Christian Wilkins that got a big paw on it.
You know, it was either Wilkins or Lawrence. They're both right in the middle, and sometimes those longer kicks, it's a lower trajectory. Trying to push that ball, kick that ball low. There's Wilkins. I think it's Dexter Lawrence. 90 right. got his hand up there.
I say Wilkins might have whiffed on it here. He's right there, and
yeah, big 90.
Good call, Coach.
Big 90 with that big forearm knocked that thing down.
That's a lot of forearm to miss, too, with him. So the Clemson defense with another stop. A&M's missed a short field goal and now had a long one blocked. And Kelly Bryant is back at quarterback for the Tigers. Lawrence had 3 series. Now they'll go back to the senior. Bryant keeps it. Kelly up to about the 47. Pickup of maybe 4. Bryant on the fade, and good coverage over there by Charles Oliver, who was beaten for the touchdown earlier. 3rd and 6 coming.
Yeah, that's a matchup they're going to go after when they get Oliver man-to-man. These 2 corners, 21 has great size. That's Oliver at 6'2", and 29 Renfro also 6'2". It's a dangerous proposition, leaving them on islands against these wide receivers.
Bryant way too high for Renfro, and it'll be 4th down, but Kelly got hit late.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 15, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Jeremiah Martin, the freshman out of San Bernardino, California, with the late hit on Bryant.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure was there. Boy, that's a really close call. I don't know. We had one last week that was called just because they came in low. I don't know. That's questionable at best, especially at a critical third down.
A big break for Clemson as they get the call. The swing out to Rodgers, and almost was backwards, and A&M's picking it up. That's Kingsley Keke. Keke's going to run it back. I'm sure they're going to look at it again and see if it was a backwards pass, and most seem to believe that it went forward. They let it play out, so we got a couple of officiating issues to look at here.
I think that ball looked forward to me.
I thought so initially. It was close.
He looked like he threw it at about the 44-yard line.
3 on the field as the pass was forward and incomplete. It's second down at the previous spot.
Yeah, that's the forward pass.
Yeah, there's no...
I don't know why the shenanigans to let him run all the way down the whole field and get tired out. Should have just blown the whistle.
Okay, yeah.
No?
That's not going to take long. They're going to look at this. So let's hit a couple of things with Dave Kataya, our officiating expert. And Dave, I don't think there's much to talk about here. What about the previous play? Kirk had a question about whether that was indeed roughing the passer.
Okay, take a look at this now. It's not that late, I agree, but watch what the defender does, and I think this is what they called. Watch him come in. He lets him go, and he launches and pushes him down. He needs to hold up. Okay, I think it's a good call.
Really?
Yeah, because he launched into him.
I mean, I'm a quarterback. I like to take care of those guys, but gray area.
Well, that's a good point.
That's a good point.
Well, that's what
they
took care of him, and just as we suspect, the Clemson offense is still out on the field.
It's 14-3. This is a big series for both teams. Clemson can go up 21-3, take this crowd completely out, and A&M needs to keep this crowd in this game.
Travis Etienne. Etienne still on his feet. Etienne inside the 20, and he couldn't get away from Donovan Wilson. The only thing that kept him from scoring, and Clemson knocking on the door again. Etienne got a great block from T. Higgins.
He sure did. T. Higgins been doing it all night. I'll tell you, Etienne's a different guy this year. Last year was about that one step and go. He's running through tackles now. He's been in the weight room after a true freshman year last year. He is a complete package. Great block by T. Higgins and physical running by Travis Etienne.
28-yard pickup for the sophomore from Jennings, Louisiana. Kelly Bryant snowed under.
We talked so much about Clemson's defensive line. You and I love Dalen Mack, 34. Last year he wore 5. Watch him get a push. Watch him shoot gaps. I mean, that is a good job, and I think he's really bought in to what A&M is doing defensively with Mike Elko. He used to have a tendency to play a play or two and then take 3 or 4 off. He's bought into getting his body in better shape, and he's being rewarded by being able to be more effective for longer amounts of time out on the field.
Adam Choice, one of the 3 or 4 running backs that Clemson can roll out there and really not lose much.
Worry about the tempo and the fatigue of A&M. They're trying to rotate bodies in and out, but the up-tempo offense of Clemson can wear anybody down, let alone when you don't have a lot of depth to rotate onto that field.
The 3rd down and goal. Dabo's probably going to call a timeout here, it looks, just from the way behavior's going on the sidelines and on the field. Nobody in any real hurry. They'll let it wind down to 2:34. And they'll call a timeout as they try to get this 3rd and goal play together. Let's take a look at tonight's unexpected outcome, brought to you by ExxonMobil. We go back to 1998. Number 2 Nebraska came to Kyle Field. The Aggies would knock off the Cornhuskers 28-21.
When I think of 1998 and Texas A&M, I think of the big upset against Kansas State in the Big 12 championship game. That was a huge upset that day.
It was indeed. It was the highest ranked team ever defeated by A&M at the time. Also snapped a
19-game winning streak for the Cornhuskers and a 40-game regular season conference winning streak. That was back when A&M was in the Big 12 with Nebraska.
Who'd Brandon Stewart hit in that Big 12 championship game?
Sir Parker. Were you testing me? Or
I know you know. I know you know. That was a day when everybody was losing. Remember Miami played UCLA. They beat UCLA down at the Orange Bowl. And Mississippi State gave Tennessee all they could handle.
Tennessee had a few escapes that year on their way to the BCS championship game. First year of the BCS, won the title by beating Florida State. Now 3rd down and goal for Kelly Bryant. Choice, lots of room. And he's right on the doorstep. So what are you going to do, Coach?
Think about this. You're up 14-3 on the road. You deferred. You get the ball to start the second half. You got a chance to go up 21-3 and then get the ball back to start the second half. He's bringing the big fellas in. This sends a message to your team.
And look who's coming in. You've got Christian Wilkins and Dexter Lawrence up front. Kirk, we were at practice this week. They'll throw it to Wilkins. Keep an eye on that, or will they just power it straight ahead? Instead, they fumble the snap, and the Aggies are going to get a break and a stop.
I don't think that ball ever got up. I don't think Fasanelli ever got the ball up to Kelly Bryant. Watch the ball. I don't think Kelly Bryant ever touched the ball. I don't think he ever had a chance to be able to secure that ball. And all Choice can do is jump on top of the ball. I don't blame him for going for it. You're up 14-3. You get the ball to start the second half, but obviously frustrated. That play never had a chance.
Hey, look, that was worst-case scenario. And worst-case scenario is you put this great defense back out on the field, and A&M's backed up inside its own 5-yard line.
Yeah, with a minute 54, Jimbo Fisher's got to be thinking, okay, Clemson has the one timeout. Let's try to pick up this first down, not have to punt the ball.
Travion Williams, short pickup as we check in with that now.
You know what this first half has reminded me of watching this defensive line? When you think about them, you think of their agility and their quickness and athletic ability. Man, they hit you at the line of scrimmage when you run the ball.
Oh, mine, that was in danger of having a safety by getting tackled in the end zone. Man, they were through there fast, Herbie.
That was Farrell that got in and blew up Williams, who was just minding his own business, carrying out a fake right there. Bang! And then here comes Christian Wilkins. I mean, they got bad intentions when they chase you down. This is not a finesse front four.
You know, there's some that say they like to go laterally. That doesn't mean that they won't hit you. And Clemson used the timeout to stop the clock. Just over a minute to play in the first half. They're down in 5 facing the Aggies. And after missing the opportunity on the doorstep, Clemson hoping to get the ball back and maybe a chance to score again before halftime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've got to try to come up with a first down, try to work the clock.
So 3rd and 5. That was the fumbled snap really kept the Aggies in this game at 21-3 at halftime. If Clemson had been able to convert there, we really don't like A&M's chances to come back, but they've moved the ball at times. They just haven't been able to finish drives.
Yeah, and Clemson, to their credit, they've come up with big plays, whether it's been offense or defense, special teams with a blocked field goal. You know, you're going to have to run the ball here, I would think. Minute 03, Clemson out of timeouts, let the clock work down. Can't imagine him throwing the ball here in this situation. Maybe.
You mentioned earlier they're approaching this. They're still in the building stage. Nothing to lose. So they'll go quarterback draw, and that is not going to work with the kindergarten cop, Christian Wilkins, showing up.
I tell you, the NFL will love Christian Wilkins because he can play outside and inside. I don't mind you. That sums it up when you watch 42 and those big fellas out there. If you're an A&M fan.
Okay, there's about 18 seconds difference between the play clock and the game clock right now. So Clemson will have an opportunity to get a couple of plays, depending on what happens with this punt return from the always dangerous Amari Rogers. Now, Braden Mann had a booming punt that flipped the field last time, and boy, could A&M use that again.
Jimbo Fisher was getting the attention of the punter there, telling him to just wave it off, wave it off, wave it off. And then you saw Mann kind of give the wave it off sign to the snapper, something that you work on in practice, and he was willing to, instead of being a little bit confused, let's make sure you're going to lose half a yard. Let's just make sure everybody is lined up and ready to go.
Set and return here, or going hard for the block?
You know, with 18 seconds, I'd set up a return.
A little shorter space on the snap there with the penalty. But Clemson retreating, although they did get a little pressure on it. Mann does it again. Oh, he did it again. But this time Rogers will chase it down on the hop. That was close to a block in the back, and Rogers gets it back up to the 35. And Braden Mann's made a couple of plays, couple of punts in this first half that has really helped Jimbo Fisher's team.
Yeah, I forgot Mann was back there punting. Let me change my answer. Let's try to block it. I don't know if we get much of a chance. This is with a short snap, too. I mean, he has been a weapon tonight. Then he's going to hustle. He better have his head on a swivel. I mean, my man's getting down there trying to hit somebody.
He went 74 on that punt that time. It was 69 earlier, so it's been quite a first half for the Texas A&M punter. Now Lawrence is in there, but Clemson will keep it on the ground, and Adam Choice gets the first down, but the time is going to expire here in the first half.
I thought there might be 1 second for Trevor Lawrence to throw that thing about 70 yards in the air on a Hail Mary.
I would like to have seen it just for the fun of it.
Me too.
You know? Dexter Lawrence, the Clemson defense, giving up some yardage on the opening drive, really stiffened, came up with big plays when they needed to. Tigers will have the ball first to start the second half as the Aggies go in, try to regroup a bit. Both Clemson quarterbacks had their moments in the first half as we go down to the field in Maria Taylor.
Can't wait now. I got you, Coach. You said you want your team to process and move on. So what do you want them to take away from the first half?
Same thing. We had chances. We got to execute in the red zone. We had a couple plays to make. We had a blocked field goal. We're right in the game. We're 2 scored. We're 2 plays away from being in the game. We've had some mess-ups as far as communication on the sideline. It's real quick, but it's relaxed. We're in the football game. Play a great second half right here. Make some adjustments. Go out and get a defensive stand and go play.
All right. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Jimbo Fisher, nice and calm as he tries to build this program. That's the end of the first half. Clemson, number 2 in the land, up 14-3. Mercedes-Benz halftime report is next as we go to Adnan Furman. Kyle Field, number 2 Clemson on top of Texas A&M, 14-3. We'll be back with more action right after these messages.
Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
We're going to be dominant. It's going to be from start to finish.
Believe in what you do. Have passion for what you do. Love what you do.
Third quarter just about to start from College Station. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Prime Time, presented by Hampton by Hilton. And this presentation of the SEC on ESPN. Clemson, number 2 in the nation, with a 14-3 lead on Texas A&M. Reese Davis and Kirk Herbstreit here. A&M had chances, couldn't finish drives. What do they need to do better in the second half?
Well, I think the first thing is they don't have to go into desperate mode. I mean, it's 14-3. It's if you're able to get a stop, Clemson gets the ball here first. Able to get a stop, get the crowd into the game. They got to be able to make some big plays on offense. Kellen Mond holds the key in my mind, running and throwing.
Let's go down to the field. Maria Taylor.
Well, coming out of the locker room, Dabo Swinney saying that they have to fix the Clemson things, a.k.a. the things that the Tigers can control. He pointed to 3 missed plays, one on 3rd and 1, and he felt like his offensive line didn't block the gap when they had the opportunity and ended up with a tackle for loss. Also dropping a layup, and we saw the drop snap earlier. Now, he did say the quarterback's on a rotation. He didn't even know who was going to take the snap coming back out onto the field. And he said he'll continue with that rotation here in the second half.
Well, if Dabo still doesn't know, Maria, I'll tell him it's Trevor Lawrence, the freshman, who they send out there first. Tavian Feaster, we haven't called his name much tonight. He carries for the first time.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, Trevor Lawrence came in the 3rd series, and this was his very first play. Puts the ball up in the air, drops it in the bucket. T. Higgins makes an exceptional play to high point the ball, something Clemson wants to see. That's that receiver into the boundary, make plays. This is what he's going to do. This is what separates him, the quick release and the timing to get the ball out as quickly as he does.
And Kirk, while we were showing that package, there was a quick release from the center, and Lawrence couldn't handle the high snap. They had to jump on it, so it's going to be 3rd down and about 16.
Feaster makes a great play. That ball completely went by Lawrence, and if Feaster didn't have his eyes up, that ball would have gone by him.
And the Aggie crowd behind the D. Draw. Nothing. Feaster wrapped up a 3 and out.
You just asked me, what do you have to do to get a chance to be able to come back and maybe win this game? First thing you do is get a 3 and out. You get the crowd into the game. You come up, you get win the battle at the line of scrimmage. Really good job of getting off blocks and using the quickness. The linebacker that time, Tyrell Dodson, actually gets in there and is able to get to Feaster in the backfield.
Will Spires going to punt for Clemson. Rashad Paul, the sophomore from Fremont, Texas, about 45 minutes up Highway 6 here in College Station. Paul driven inside his 35. First guy misses. Paul looking for room. Tough return by Rashad Paul, gets it up to about the 43-yard line. And Texas A&M will have its first possession of the second half with very good field position for Jimbo Fisher.
Remember, Jimbo Fisher's first couple series were pretty good. They were mixing the run with the pass. Kellen Mond was kind of in rhythm, making some good throws. They were converting on 3rd down. And see what he does as far as making adjustments. He's always known as one of the better coaches at making halftime adjustments and trying to find a weakness or potential weakness of a defense.
Staying out of 3rd and long would help. Aggies just 3 of 10 on 3rd down in the first half. On 1st down, Mond to throw. Wants to take a shot. Throws, and he's got his man. It's Osmond.
I mean, that's a heck of a throw. But I don't know if Kellen Mond lost a safety here or not. Watch the safety right here sneak back and get back in coverage. Throws it over top of Tanner Muse, and also is able to throw it away from the corner, and a heck of a catch by Osmond to go up there and make that play.
He dropped that thing in, picked up 26. I think you're right. I don't think he saw it.
Yeah. We'll give him credit.
He only saw one of them.
He navigated it. He felt it.
Dropped that thing in the bucket. Travion Williams. He didn't find a lot of running room in the first half, but poked his way forward. Williams averaged just under 1.5 yards a carry on his 10 carries in the first half, but pick up a 4 there.
Watch Sternberger here make this block. Does a really good job of Farrell, who's been in the backfield. We've seen him make a living back there in the first half. This time, the junior college transfer does what he needs to do to make that block.
Williams, right at Clemson. He's going to be short of the first down. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2.
It's the 3rd time they have been inside the Clemson 25-yard line. They've not been able to come away with touchdowns, only the 3 points.
And here is a 3rd down opportunity. You see the difference between Clemson and Northwestern State, the week 1 opponent. But this is a 3rd and manageable. But it's not manageable when Clemson gets that kind of penetration. Kayvon Wallace coming up from the secondary.
Watch on the far left, the safety Wallace, who Reese just talked about. Nobody picks him up, and he's able to get back into that backfield. Here's the thing. You talk about manageable. I think 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 against this defensive line could be tougher than 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, because they're going to walk 9 guys up. They're going to shoot gaps. Makes it really hard on the offensive line.
A&M will try a field goal. Daniel LaCamera is an excellent kicker, but he's had a rough night tonight. He missed a short one, had a long one blocked. This one is right down the boulevard. And the Aggies draw to within 1 possession. A 14-6 game in the early moments of the 3rd quarter. Clemson on top of Texas A&M, 14-6 in the third quarters. We welcome you back to our Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week. And there are the two Clemson quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence and Kelly Bryant.
All indications from Dabo Sweeney and the offensive coaches always talk about how these guys support each other and they have each other's back, and I'm sure they do. This is, you're in a tight game on the road, and it's where you kind of start to find out who your quarterback is in these kind of situations.
Cornell Powell is the deep man for Clemson. Powell about 3 yards deep, going to bring it out. Oh, and did he get lit up? Howdy! Donovan Wilson, the starting safety, comes roaring down the field.
Ooh, that is a big hit. There's some pads popping tonight. Love to see us. Oh, that ball almost came out. Good job by Powell holding on to that football.
And how about that with the shoulder, too? And it is Trevor Lawrence coming back out again.
Remember, Dabo Sweeney made it abundantly clear to everybody. You're going to play them both early, kind of figure out who's the guy, and go from there.
Lawrence, under heat, throws a dirt ball. Looking for his tight end, Mylan Richard.
That was one of the first times we've seen him feel a little bit of urgency in the pocket. He had to slide away from the pressure. Wasn't able to get his feet set, threw it right into the ground.
Alaka's coming. ETN gets it. Aggies everywhere. Third and long coming.
This defense right now is locked in. They're flying around. Watch them getting off blocks. Defensive back here, you see him flying around, getting up there. Tyree Johnson, 3, actually forced that ball back inside. This is the way this defense played in the first couple of series.
Here comes pressure. Lawrence steps away from it. Looks for Hunter Renfrow. They call it a catch. It's going to be just short of the 25-yard line, and it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be quite enough for the first down. It's not. It's going to be a couple of yards short.
How about Mike Elko trying to take advantage? Even though Trevor Lawrence is immensely talented, he's still inexperienced. He showed blitz to the quarterback's right, and then at the snap of the ball, he brought it from the left. That's why he was flushed from the pocket. Good effort there by Renfrow to get his feet down, but as you said, Reese, a little short. Defense does their job again.
Will Spire standing at his 10 to punt it. Rashad Paul from his 26. Got a little alley. And another good return from Rashad Paul. Gets it up to the 40-yard line. A 50-yard punt. 14-yard return. And momentum seems to be swinging to the Aggs.
college football. Brought to you by E-Trade, the original place to invest online. And Mazda, feel alive.
College football playoff national championship trophy presented by Dr. Pepper will be awarded Monday night, January 7th. The national championship game goes to the Bay Area. Semifinals this year on December 29th. It's a Saturday now. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic in Arlington, the Capital One Orange Bowl in Miami. These two guys, Jimbo Fisher, Dabo Swinney, two of the 4 active coaches to win a national championship. The Jimbos came before the playoff era. Mond taking a shot deep. It's incomplete. 2nd and 10 as we check in with Adnan. And then the Trojans had difficulty stopping UNLV on the ground last week. And Bryce Love getting started already with more yards than he had in his opening game against San Diego State. 2nd down and 10 for Kellen Mond and the Aggies. Pressure from Cleveland Farrell, and they dump into Travion Williams, and he's got helpers in front. Williams into Clemson territory and inside the 45.
Wow, what a call here by Jimbo Fisher. I want to know how Mond got that ball off. Clemson was all over him. Again, they're trying to do a screen, but Clemson's defensive front gets in there so quickly, it makes it very hard to time up the screen. Watch this defensive line. See how he wants to backpedal, but Farrell's already there. Somehow he just flips it over his shoulder. Watch this. Just a little flip over top of Farrell. And there's Williams with a convoy there to try to pick up some yards for the 1st down.
I don't know that we can underscore how good that was for Kellen Mond. Back to the ground, Williams getting close to the 40.
Oh, that was some pushing and shoving. It looked like the receiver Osborne too kind of got locked up there with Tanner Muse. Tanner Muse didn't care for it. Pushed him pretty hard there at the end of the play. Right here, there's Osborne. He kind of gets locked up. He grabs on to Tanner Muse. And Tanner Muse says, no, don't be doing that. Shoves him, and that was the reaction because it happened near the A&M bench. They saw the shove, but they didn't see what Osborne had done prior to that.
That's a good play on.
Yeah, play on.
On the roll, Mond tosses it up in the stands with Kendall Joseph chasing him, trying to make sure he saved a yard or two. It's 3rd down.
Good job by Clemson stringing that out. You had the receiver covered that time by A.J. Terrell, and you also had a linebacker, Kendall Joseph, running with Kellen Mond.
Herbie, he was attempting to save that yardage, but I think he got out of bounds before he did it. He lost 3, so it's 3rd down and 11 now.
I don't know if he stepped out of bounds before he threw it.
Well, maybe.
I don't think he did.
At any rate, he lost some yardage and it's 3rd down and 11. Mond buying a little time. Trey Lamar after him. Mond gets the 1st down, and Kellen Mond gets down close to the 20-yard line. Osborne, we got tangled up, gave him a block, and now Mond appears to have cramped up as he was coming off the sideline.
Well, this is big-time play. We talked about his creativity on 3rd down. Clemson coming after him, but they don't have a spy. Playing man-to-man coverage. Trey Lamar at 250 pounds can't make that play. Osborne picks up a block there, and he gets down the sideline. But as you said, he goes down after the scramble.
And Nick Starkel is the backup. He started several games in his career at Texas A&M, was in a quarterback battle with Kellen Mond. He's thrown for nearly 1,800 yards last year, 14 touchdown passes. Was injured and missed time last year, and we hope that's all it was with Mond. That's what it appeared to be as he was coming back toward the huddle. He appeared to just like it was
they're
cramp.
pushing his toes back. It looks like a cramp. I applaud him for being able to get through this rush because they stunt and move some people. Look in the background, though, at the man-to-man coverage. All those defensive backs are chasing the man that they're covering. There's the block by Osborne. Mullen really never had a chance to get off of that block, but If you let an athletic quarterback get out on third down, he's going to pick up yards unless you can spy with somebody and try to take that run away. There's Lee. Uh-oh, Scooter. Look out now.
Lee Corso on the side. And he knows you never go backwards. You got to go sideways.
He's down there coaching. He's got his, look at him. He's got his sneaks on. He's down there coaching. Whoever he picks, that's who he's coaching. And you'd think he's on the coaching staff. He takes it so serious.
Hey, let's go down to Maria Taylor.
Yeah, I was right on the sideline as Kellen Mond was getting stretched out, and he told the training staff he's fine, just needed to be stretched out. Looked like a cramp down here on the field.
Okay, Maria, see if they can get Kellen stretched out, hydrated. In the meantime, after the 23-yard pickup, Nick Starkel gets thrown into the fire.
You would think with a backup quarterback coming in for his first play, little handoff here, but because of the experience he talked about, it would be very Jimbo Fisher to come in here throwing.
And they do, but Cleveland Farrell gets it, and it was picked up out of the air by Justin Foster. Disastrous play for the Aggies.
I just said, you know, it wouldn't surprise you if you might see this play. Farrell again able to get through this offensive line. Just a mismatch against Dan Moore. Watch to the left, 65. Outside move back to the inside. Here's a quarterback fresh off the bench. Ball is free in the air, and the backup's defensive end, Foster, pretty athletic move there with the ball in the air for a 250-pound guy to come up with it.
They just keep rolling in defensive linemen who can make plays. Foster makes one. Farrell has been everywhere. He was the one that chased down Mond on the previous play.
Kelly Bryant's back into the game.
And back and forth, the quarterback switch goes for the Tigers. Bryant going to take a shot. He's got a man out there. It's T. Higgins, and they flip the field with a huge offensive play. Now Higgins has caught one from both quarterbacks.
Well, he's a physical receiver. He might have been a little too physical there, but there's a no call. Matched up against the safety. This is a dangerous play for A&M. They lose the ball. Boy, I think he may have gotten away with a push-off there against Carper, the safety.
I don't think there's any question about it, but he picked up half 100. And the Tigers are at the 20. There goes Kelly Bryant inside the 15.
Kelly Bryant, they bring him in, and don't hesitate to get aggressive. Higgins is going to become as big a story in 2018 for this offense as any player on the team. You create those one-on-one matchups, defenses are in trouble trying to stop the 6'4" T. Higgins.
Travis Etienne. Tyrell Dodson wrestles him down just inside the 10-yard line, but it'll be first and goal for Clemson.
It's amazing how quick the game can change. Backup quarterback comes in, get aggressive, take a chance. Instead of conventional wisdom, run the ball. They try and throw, catch Clemson off guard. It doesn't work. Turnover. Next play, Bryant goes deep. They get away with that offensive pass interference, and now they're inside a 10-yard line. Blink of an eye.
Throwing the dart. It's a touchdown, DeAndre Overton, but there is a flag down on the play.
I think they called this one right. This one's on Texas A&M.
Holding, number 21, defense. That penalty is declined. Touchdown.
By the way, you see where they went? Even with Higgins down, they go back to the boundary wide receiver, the X. And Overton 6'4", just like Higgins. They think that that's a mismatch. And how about Kelly Bryant? Dealing with this crowd, dealing with the adversity of being on the bench and dealing with Trevor Lawrence coming in and kind of that wow factor. He didn't go in the dumps. He didn't feel sorry for himself. He comes back out, 4 plays, 70 yards, and a touchdown.
That takes some serious toughness, particularly at that position. First, the Tiger defense made a play. Foster was there to grab it, and this is a laser, and it is in a tight window as Overton makes the grab, and Clemson stretches its lead to 15. They're partying at Clemson, Week 1 NFL Sunday. Kick it off with Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 Eastern on ESPN. Among the things Sam and the gang will have, Ben Roethlisberger sitting down for a one-on-one with Boomer, Chris Berman, and Deshaun Watson on his return to the field with Marty Smith Sunday on ESPN and on the ESPN app. Kelly Bryant just threw a touchdown pass. Rashad Paul bringing it back the other way for the Aggies. Good coverage from Clemson. He gets just across the 20 as we go to Adnan Virk.
Hey, Mother, go on.
All right, Adnan. My partner up here, Herbstreit, he can keep an eye on everything. He's got 17 monitors every game here.
Talking about head on a swivel. We got it all covered up here.
Kellen Mond, after leaving for a play with cramps, one that turned out to be a disastrous play, with Nick Starkel losing the ball and called it an interception, but Mond is back. And Mond has a man wide open out there. Cameron Buckley. And Buckley's on his way. One man to beat. Davon Wallace saves a touchdown, but the Aggies try to answer.
Great job of locating Buckley, who is a bust in coverage. Nobody sees him breaking free. You'll see him right here. And eventually, Kellen Mond sees him and throws a laser right to him. Buckley's had a big night tonight.
Thought it would be Osborne, but it's been Buckley. 4 previous trips inside the 25 for A&M, and they have a mere 6 points. They have to finish this one. Kellen Mond into the end zone, puts it in traffic, touchdown, Texas A&M, it's Kendrick Rogers.
tell you something, Reese. I want you to watch Kellen Mond and how far he's come in this offense. Watch his head. Watch where he looks. Looks right, doesn't panic, gets to the outside. Look at the background. Look at that defense. Trying to make that throw. He knows he has to put it up high. It's exactly what he did for the touchdown there to Rodgers.
I'm going to say that's a really good time for your first career touchdown. And you can give her a little sugar right now because the Aggies are back in it. Couple of receivers stepping up big time when Texas A&M needed. Cameron Buckley made a 69-yard catch. He got 3 catches for 84. And then Kendrick Rogers with the touchdown grab in traffic. And, man, they are alive at Kyle Field. Cornell Powell will field it, let it come out to the 25.
You got a receiver way at the top. But what I want you to appreciate is the courage this took for Mond to sit, then pull out, and now watch right here. Look at all these white jerseys that he's trying to navigate to be able to throw that football to. Somehow he gets it in there. This is right after a big play. The very next play, you've got 3, 4, 5 white jerseys, and the focus by Rodgers to high point the ball. It's 6-3. Great play by the Aggies.
Kelly Bryant, who just led a drive for Clemson, is back, and now he'll try to answer. Hunter Renfro's behind everybody, and Renfro's got it in A&M territory to 35.
How about this? I mean, it's going back and forth, back and forth. You think about Hunter Renfro as a slot guy. This time he's going downfield. There's nobody better at focusing on a football than Hunter Renfro. Nice job of showing his versatility going downfield to make a play. And a good throw by Kelly Bryant.
Bryant keeps it. Kelly Bryant gets the first down at the 25. One more move, and he might have run for a while.
I know we're enamored with Trevor Lawrence and in his future, but there's something that feels comfortable about Kelly Bryant being the quarterback right now for Clemson. 14 games of experience last year. Ted took this team all the way to the semifinal against Alabama. Been there and done that. Looks to be in command watching him run this offense.
Little trick play. Hunter Renfro's going to throw it to Bryant. Bryant is broken up. I think Dabo Swinney spent some time visiting on a trip with Doug Peterson this year. Maybe he picked up that play from the Eagles.
Yeah, he might have come up with that one. I know he's buddies with Doug Peterson. And you can see this being developed. And I think you saw the defense do a really good job. The linebacker that time, Dodson, almost came over and made the play to intercept that football. Look at 25 go up. The progressive pylon cam to knock that away.
Half roll to his left. Amari Rodgers spins away from a tackler. 3rd and short coming up for the Tigers.
I don't know how Clemson's going to handle it in the future, but I don't know if people can feel it at home, but you can sure see it from up here. Both these quarterbacks are incredibly talented. but it's hard to take away that experience. There's something that allows the game to slow down and allows you to make quicker decisions. Kelly Bryant's making quicker decisions tonight than what we saw from him late in 2017.
Trevor Lawrence will be the future Sunday, but that doesn't appear to be right now. Bryant's falling.
You can run here.
First down, Renfro squirting and getting inside the 10-yard line. It'll be first and goal for the Tigers.
Of the call, little pick here against man-to-man. Off to the left, see two receivers there, two defenders playing man-to-man. Well executed, great call by Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott, the co-offensive coordinators.
All of a sudden, we have a little offensive back-and-forth battle breaking out. Etienne trying the middle of that Aggie defense. Picked up one, maybe two. Kingsley Keke on the stop. Inside 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Second and goal for Clemson. Little shuffle pass, pushing for the goal line. Not quite getting there as Etienne. It'll be third and goal.
Etienne is getting behind his pads and running with a real passion. Last year, we just got so excited to see him, the recruiting story, the speed, the big smile after he'd score. He spent his time in that beautiful weight room that you and I visited on Wednesday and took advantage of his time in there. He is a physical back to go along with that speed.
They'll toss it to him, to the corner, into the end zone. Travis Etienne, and Clemson answers the A&M touchdown.
I think he gave Johnny Manziel a little shout out there. We talked about his power, but he still has the speed to get to the corner. Richards out front, the tight end. There's just nobody. He really didn't need to block anybody. Just the speed there. It's tough to stop that.
Progressive pylon cam. Etienne will run by. Oh. Aggies diving, coming into your living room. Hugo puts it through, and the lead is back to 15.
Great teams answer on the road. A&M had just scored a touchdown. They're back in the game. The crowd's going wild. And all Clemson does is go 8 plays, 75 yards on the road in 3 minutes, and Etienne takes it into the end zone. That's what great teams do.
Mylan Richard got just a little bit of the defensive back end.
Little shout out.
Hey, don't forget, Johnny's on a bye week this week from the Canadian Football League. Talked that he might show up. Haven't seen him yet. 15th career rushing touchdown for Etienne.
Got some points now, Reese.
Defensive struggle, really. The exception of a couple of big plays from the Tigers through the first half. But this third quarter, offenses are figuring it out. And A&M, just over a minute to play in the third quarter, needs to do it again. It'll come out to the 25, gives us time to check in with Adnan.
Come on now. 13-7. Wow.
You know who used to play quarterback at Samford, don't you? Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah.
He also started his coaching career there. Obviously, had great success in his coaching career at Florida State. More pressing matters on the mind of Jimbo now. Mond gets drilled, but got it to Travion Williams. Williams gets by Simmons and gets it across the 30-yard line.
And there's Xavier Thomas, number 3, who puts the boom on Kellen Mond. And just when you think you've got enough of Bryant and Wilkins and Lawrence and Farrell, here comes the latest 5-star Defensive lineman Thomas, who, by the way, is about 260 pounds and runs a 4.5.
What's the number?
That's safety corner speed at 260.
He's a number 4 player in the ESPN rankings. They say he is going to be a superstar, and he's getting some important snaps here. But Travion Williams finds a crease in that Clemson defense, and it's a first down.
Nice job by the right side of that offensive line. Got a good push down on Thomas and company. Open that up one of the few times we've seen Travion Williams have a little room to run.
Not sure that the Aggies are going to snap it again here in the third quarter. So we'll head to the final 15 minutes. Texas A&M still in it. That's the end of the third quarter in College Station. 28-13, Clemson's up. Can the Aggies give them a finish in Aggieland tonight? Starting the fourth quarter in College Station, Clemson on top 28-13 as we welcome you back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week. Presentation of the SEC on ESPN, and as they do between the third and the fourth quarter, they were sawing off the horns and hoping they can lift their team to a fourth quarter rally next Saturday. College game day headed to Fort Worth campus at TCU for the show. 9 a.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Then the game will be in Jerry World. Fourth quarter starting. Kellen Mond getting away from pressure, trying to find Travion Williams out of the backfield, and he was covered by that freshman defensive lineman Thomas, and flags came flying in at the end to Xavier, big freshman out of Florence, South Carolina.
Pass interference, number 3, defense, automatic. first down.
You know, Brent Venables will do this. He'll bring pressure from here, and then he'll drop his defensive end just to try to create some confusion. This is the big freshman. He's matched up with a running back. Kellen Mond sees it, tries to make the throw, and because the ball was thrown so poorly, here's a defensive end at 260 pounds, grabs a hold of that running back around the neck there, and an obvious pass interference.
And just the second penalty of the night against the Tigers. A pretty clean game from them thus far. Wilkins right on Mond, and Williams is loose. Travion Williams inside the 30, but there is a flag back there about the spot that Mond got hit.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 42. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Yeah, Christian Wilkins has been in that backfield all night, but he elevates and actually takes it. If he stopped here, he's fine. But look at that. He's trying to put all his weight on top of him to knock him out. I mean, Christian Wilkins is a great player, but you can't do this. Let go now. He goes airborne with his feet to try to bring all his weight down on top of the quarterback.
Just after I said they play a clean game, and a veteran guy who's played so many snaps, who knows better, puts his team in a terrible position as the Aggies are now knocking on the door again at the 15 after the 17-yard reception and what turned out to be a 14-yard penalty. Mond throws it away.
That last play, I know we focused there on the late hit by Christian Wilkins, but Jimbo Fisher, he's kind of holding back a few aces. He's holding back a few 2 or 3 or 4 plays that he hasn't shown all night. I kept waiting to see, when is Travion Williams, who's not having a great night running the ball, going to get a little bit more involved in the passing game, getting the ball in space. And on that penalty, it was a nice little slip screen to do that very thing and to give him room to run against those linebackers.
The only touchdown the Aggies have had tonight came on a throw into traffic and a tremendous catch by Kendrick Rogers.
Jimbo's trying to get a timeout. He's frustrated with somebody. Oh, you need to hold on. You're down 15 in the fourth quarter. Every timeout is precious.
You cannot miss opportunities either. A&M has one here. Can they cash in against Dabo's team? right at an end, and here Clemson has the lead. A&M trying to cut into it. 28-13. Number 2 Tigers up. On 2nd and 10. Mon. There's a flag flying in the middle of the field. He was looking for Courtney Davis. A.J. Terrell was on the coverage. Aggies might have had an eligible man downfield. We'll see.
Yeah, that was one of the calls. I don't know if it looked like a call came in the coverage. Definitely had an offensive lineman downfield.
There are 2 fouls on the play, one on each team. Ineligible player downfield. Number 65, offense. Pass interference. Number 8, defense. Those fouls offset. 2nd down.
Let's do it again. A.J. Terrell, 6'2", cover corner.
You see an offensive lineman right here sneak down. But I tell you that Terrell, who I think is a great corner, he gets his hands on Davis. And you can see his head turn, but before his head turned, he got his hands on Davis, and that's when the flag came out.
There's Dan Moore, who was a man downfield. Terrell bailed him out, so we'll do it all over again. Blitz coming. Gets away from Simmons momentarily. Mon throws it. Touchdown! Courtney Davis with his first career catch, and it's a huge one.
The boys here. I thought he was going to throw the ball to Osmond. He had him open right there, right in front of him, but instead he waits and then goes downfield to Davis, who has just interfered. That's good speed to run away from Simmons. You can see Osmond's all alone right there, but he goes the next level, takes the chance, and comes away with a touchdown. I'll tell you what, Aggies won't go away.
They said they were going to fight him to the very end, and boy, we have a barn burner in Kyle Field.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hampton by Hilton. For the best price guaranteed, book at Hampton.com. And in part by America's biopharmaceutical companies. Go boldly.
This is what they've wanted. Hope, belief, toughness in the Aggie spirit. I don't know if that they're going to win, but Jimbo Fisher is establishing a culture right now.
This is different. This is a different feel for Texas A&M. I have no idea who's going to win this game, but this program is changing right in front of our eyes with Jimbo Fisher. The fight that he wanted to see from his team, you're seeing. We haven't seen this in a while at Texas A&M.
He's got a chance down 8, see if they can get a stop as we look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Chick-fil-A, the AP poll. Clemson sitting at number 2, fighting for their lives right now against Texas A&M. Everyone else has won or is leading in the top 10.
That Georgia win in Columbia, tough place to play, pretty impressive, and we'll see what happens here. Kelly Bryant stays in the game.
As well he should, Kirk. He was 6 for 6, 119 yards and a touchdown, like 2 touchdown drives in the third quarter, and puts one right on the money to the outside to Amari Rogers.
It's kind of become a Kelly Bryant and Kellen Mond game. I want to give Kellen Mond a lot of credit. Here's a guy that's learning a new system, a very complicated system with Jimbo Fisher. And those last 2 drives, 5 of 6, 115 yards, and really doing a good job of setting protections, talking to the offensive line coach there.
Bryant escapes trouble in the backfield, and Kelly using those feet and picking up the first down.
How about that? That's a loss of 3 and turned into a first down. Mike Elko brought the blitz with a safety and a linebacker. Bryant spins off it and makes a play.
Derek Tucker now grabbing his calf. Hard-hitting physical safety in that Aggie secondary.
And it looks like another player cramping.
It's been a humid day. Air is thick here in College Station.
Is. Started on game day.
It did indeed. Got a game in the fourth quarter. Clemson by 8. And now for tonight's game track, brought to you by the U.S. Navy. Clemson holding an 8-point lead. Look at the numbers Kelly Bryant has put up. Just 3 incomplete passes, accounted for a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, an exciting third quarter. This is maybe as good a play as he's made it. 2nd and 5. Look at the blitz. Right there, he's wrapped up. He breaks that tackle. Instead of being 3rd and 8, and this crowd in the game, and maybe A&M's offense getting the ball back, breaks the tackle, picks up a first down. That's a play to remember for Clemson fans.
Talked about the toughness A&M has shown. Championship culture shining through for the Tigers as well. Bryant taking a shot, throwing deep, and the Aggies trying to run it down, and is just beyond the outstretched arms.
A little out and
defender Larry Pryor.
My bad, Reese. Little out and up by Amari Rogers. Renfro, pretty good coverage, doesn't bite on it, trying to stay in phase. Rogers does get behind him, but he gets help with the safety coming over. Pryor, who almost makes the interception. Here they come.
Bryant keeps it. It's up to the 41. Pickup of a couple. 3rd down and 8, and this is a big one.
A&M sticking to their game plan with Mike Elko, blitzing at the very last moment. And that time, Mike Elko's defense draws it up, and they secure the tackle, and now we get that 3rd and 8.
The Clemson guy in the sea of the 12th man. Kiki is after Bryant. Kelly gets away. Gets up across the 40, and he takes a little bump out of bounds. Tyrell Dodson pulled up, and Elko's defense coming up with another play. Making a 4th down. Mike's fired up.
Yeah, man, he's fired up. He is fired up. Dodson came close to getting a 15-yard penalty. Kelly Bryant did a good job of acting. Anytime a quarterback runs near that sideline, he maybe gets barely gets touched, he's going to go down. But A&M does not get called for the 15-yard penalty.
Spires will punt it away for Clemson, and Rashad Paul, who's had a couple of really nice returns for the Aggies, waits just inside his own 20. High, booming punt from Spires. Paul calling for the fair catch, and he makes it. And the Aggies have a chance to drive for the tie after the 45-yard punt. stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. See games like Florida State and Samford, anything else you want to see. So start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. What a scene we have in Kyle Field, Texas A&M. Ball inside their own 20. Mon gets away. Mon throwing it to the outside, and it's a tremendous catch by Kendrick Rogers. And Rogers, who had a touchdown earlier, makes the grab with Mark Fields right under him.
You know, how about these wide receivers from Texas A&M tonight? We knew about Osborne, but Rogers and Davis and Buckley, again, a little unorthodox, but it gets away from trouble. And I mean, did he ever touch the ground? Fields makes, oh yeah, yep. I was focused on his knee, but the back of his shoulder touches the ground. But good at play again. Kellen Mond has come alive in the second half for this A&M offense.
Just glad Kendrick popped up there. And the Aggies get out of a little field position trouble. Mond has to get rid of it. Taking a shot. Davis is running free, and they couldn't quite hook up.
Kellen Mond, we just talked about, he had back-to-back series where he was 5 of 6. Made a big throw right here to get a drive started to Buckley. The very next play, how about that throw? Where the big receiver at 6'3" goes up with Rogers. The next series to get the ball to Trevion Williams on a slip screen. Come back after a 15-yard penalty. Right before he goes down, he puts it up. Courtney Davis makes the touchdown to give this A&M offense some life. But Kellen Mond, again, he's a young man who's come a long way in this offense, growing up in a big way tonight.
Those numbers in the second half, remarkable. 8 of 11, 179. Now, getting away from pressure and throw it away. 3rd and 10 coming for the Aggies.
You know, the best thing you can say about him facing this defense, you know, the numbers are great, but the biggest number that's impressive under that pressure and that duress, 0 interceptions. He's not making poor decisions. Jimbo Fisher has got to be ecstatic. This is a non-conference game. He's getting ready to go into the SEC West with a new offense and a new quarterback. And this kid making these plays against this defense, man, it's encouraging.
Aggies will be very encouraged if they can pick up 10+ here. Down the middle, complete, and a first down. It is Jamon Osborne. And all of the receivers getting in on the act now, Kirk.
They sure are. He's got a free release at the top, or actually to the far left. Nobody slows him down. With the linebackers there, just kind of being stretched out to the outside. Easy throwing lane for Mon to make that throw to Osborne, who we thought, again, coming in with his size would be a difficult matchup for the Clemson secondary. Not the fastest of receivers, but 6'2", 220, and uses his body. That time, great throw.
Farrell and Bryant there, and Cleveland gets him first, and big 99 with a sack.
This left tackle, Dan Moore, has had a tough time up here dealing with this speed, but you also have to deal with Austin Bryant. You got a left guard that's pulling around here, and Hawker to try to deal with Bryant, but Cleve Farrell, you could say, is one of, if not the best pass rusher, he's right up there with Nick Bosa, is one of the best pass rushers in the game. And you can ask Dan Moore if that's accurate, the left tackle. He's had a tough time dealing with his speed.
Cleveland's got 2 of the 4 Clemson sacks tonight, 18.5 for his career, which has been terrific. Now 2nd and 16. Underneath, Rogers with the catch, uses that big strong body, stays on his feet, fighting ahead and getting to the 45, and putting A&M in position to convert on 3rd down and short.
That gives them a chance now on 3rd and short. How about the effort against Kendall Joseph?